Alright, so we're finally back. I'm AlexVoReaction, and we're gonna be watching and reacting to this video of rappers who were killed by King Von. I'm just gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get in trouble and stuff like that. So allegedly, some of these guys might be killed by King Von, but you never know because it couldn't be. Sometimes it could be, and sometimes it couldn't be. But sometimes you could tell because it's gonna be in the music videos one way or another. But this video is by Trend Plug, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Let's get back to the let's get started on the video. But before we start there, hopefully the sound is a lot better. I tried without the microphone, the sound doesn't sound too great. So for me, maybe I need to buy a better webcam because I'm just using the laptop, and you know for sure sometimes the laptop webcam isn't the greatest, so maybe I'll buy a better one for sure. And for the microphone, maybe I need a pop filter for it or a filter on it, so maybe it will sound a little bit better and you don't hear the pop sounds and stuff like that at times. So maybe we'll try to get some of that too as well, and probably a better different headset too as well, the one without this mic speakerphone like you speak if you're playing PS4 and stuff like that. So I technically kind of use that for the PS4 back in the days because I used to be in the party chat a lot, but nowadays not too much. But let's get started on the video because we're kind of wasting so much time here.
King Von was never one to keep the dark side of his life a secret.
But yes, also like RIP to King Von as well, and this is just allegedly, so I'm just gonna be saying that for the video too as well. Who knows, but I'm not gonna hope and pray some of these he didn't kill, but you know, some of these rappers for sure, they'll speak on the music video and some of their names are gonna be mentioned some way or another.
He often spoke about the violent acts that he committed and accurately portrayed the violent surroundings that he grew up in throughout his short but strong music career. Even though he was very open about his life, Von was also smart enough to keep enough details out of the mix that he didn't incriminate himself in any crimes. This being said, he has been allegedly placed at the scenes of multiple homicides and named as an assailant in them. Though there was not enough evidence to charge him and convict Von, it is believed that he was a man who had multiple bodies on him. In today's video, we're going to be talking about people who were allegedly killed by King Von. Before we start the video, make sure to leave a like, and if you would like to join this month's giveaway of one of these items.
Alright, so I'm gonna skip this part a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead. Right here. Yeah, let's just get there.
Before we start, I would like to just reiterate that all of the bodies in this video are from the mostly open cases. And though King Von is a suspect in all of them, he was not convicted of any of these murders. All of these bodies are from the crimes that he allegedly committed. That being said, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Rodney Stewart, aka Boss Trail, was a member of the Gangsta Disciples, more specifically the STL EBT set. On November,
for me, I'm not gonna know any of these guys. Maybe some of them I might heard of them, but in general, man, I just don't really pay attention to the gang violence and stuff like that. I'm not really a big fan of that or gang stuff in general, so yikes. I try to stay away from that. So for me, like, I don't like hearing about deaths on anyone really. So let's get back to the video.
8th, 2012, during the early hours of the morning, Boss Trail was found with his body lying face down in an alley that was located near the 2600 block of West 83rd Street in Chicago. He was found with a gunshot wound to the back of the head. It would seem that Stewart knew his life was in danger. Investigators say that Rodney Stewart had acquired a bus ticket that was planning to take him to Iowa on November 10th, where he was planned to live with two friends and possibly even had a lead for a job. Rodney knew that someone was after him and that he needed—
Damn, even this guy trying to look for a job. It kind of reminds me of that one guy from the Young Ace group where he actually sung about it in the Who I Smoked song, which he talked about the guy who got killed at Amazon, tried to apply for Amazon. So, oh man, that definitely sucks. And even if you try to get away from the gang and stuff like that, I don't know why, but they still end up trying to find you for some reason. But even if you try to get away from the gang life and stuff like that, it's gonna be it is also hard too at the same time leaving your brother. But sometimes the sad part is some of your brothers are the one who's gonna be killing you as well in your gang. Even some gang members in your gang kills you. It's not even. Sometimes it's your rival gang, of course, but then the other times it could be your own brothers who's also end up killing you too as well. So that's the sad part there. And let's get back to the video.
To find a way to get out of Chicago. Sadly, he never made it due to his untimely death at the age of 17. It is believed that King Von, along with T-Roy and J Money, are the ones that the world believes did the hit. With the constant high tension between the gangster disciples and the black disciples.
Alright, so we're back now. So I actually stopped the video so I could skip the ad there. But for me, just looking at this, like, they don't even live that far away from the rival gang members either. Like, they're so close. It's like maybe a couple minutes away from each other as well. Like, even if you just walk out of the doorstep and they'll be waiting for you and start shooting you, or even walking into your car and they will shoot at you, or even if you're just on your porch and they still shoot at you, or yeah, technically if you're slacking on the porch, they'll shoot you and try to get away, like try to hide, and if you don't see them, they'll try to sneak behind and start shooting you. So man, like, it's hard to even get away from that. So let's get back to the video here.
The accusation is too far-fetched, especially since shortly before his death, he reportedly told his grandmother, Sheila Green, that he had enemies that she wouldn't understand. Though she did not take him seriously at the time, it's clear that someone wanted Boss Trail gone. In late March of 2019, 27-year-old Tyreek Levat was found shot to death in southwest Atlanta. The shooting occurred around 10 p.m. outside the Hidden Village apartment complex. According to Atlanta PD, the incident occurred after a fight broke out during.
And also the sad part, like, all these guys are dying young too. It was like they're not dying that old. So like, these people are gonna be dying around at the youngest is even like teenagers. Like, they dying like 15 or 16. Some of them dying in their early 20s, early maybe almost 30, even some in the 40s if you're lucky, in the 40s. But most of the time you're dying under 20 or around 20. So man, these guys die young. So might as well spend the best of your life, and life is too short, and like, spend as much time as you can in this life. So man, these guys don't. So kind of sucks at the same time, because some of them, like, their parents are losing their son, their kids, and stuff like that too as well. Or even their grandparents, like, losing their, or even uncles and cousins are losing someone, like, in their family. So that's so sad. But let's continue here.
During a house party. According to witnesses, 5 or more men were involved in an altercation that turned violent. Eventually, the dust settled and the participants went their separate ways. Apparently, about an hour after the fight started and ended, it picked up once more. Only this time, things took a turn for the worst. It was during this fight that someone pulled out a handgun and began to fire multiple rounds. When the gunfire ended, it left Tyreek deceased, along with 4 other men injured. The 4 surviving men were rushed to Grady Hospital where they were treated. Many speculate that King Von and possibly a few other hitters from Chicago may be responsible for the death of Tyreek, along with the attempted murder of the other 4 individuals involved. Tyreek was believed to be associated with the Atlanta Bloods, which almost immediately makes them rivals for the gangster disciples. Richard Medell was shot and killed at the age of 17. Him and his cousin were out in the West.
17? God damn. Oh, let me see here. I forgot to probably do this. I probably should turn the caption on. Whoops, I forgot about that. Let's get back to the video though.
Woodland area of Southside Chicago. They were allegedly on their way to meet a girl in that part of the city. Someone approached the two and began to open fire around 9:30 p.m. Police believe the 2 teens were targeted due to their gang affiliations. Rumors began to...
Yeah, like earlier we were talking about, like, these guys die so young. This kid, technically he's a teenager, like, die at 17. It got, just because being in a gang, like, that sucks, man. And that's why I personally don't like gang violence or anything like that, or gang in general. So I don't try to, like, watch any of those kind of stuff at all. I try to stay away from that, really. To me, I'm just more a person that plays video games and stuff like that, try to get away from the deaths and all that stuff. Like seeing these deaths and all that stuff, man, it's just draining to see all, and seeing how many young kids are just dying, teenagers, and also like even the early 20s and early 30s, they're not even gonna live past 60 or 70 or 80, and they're not gonna have a whole life, because you never know. Some of these kids could be something in the future. They could have been a president. You never know. They could be a really good business person, could be a good sports player, could be in basketball, football, soccer, or anything like that as well, but they died so soon.
Circulate about the death of Modell. Some are saying that while King Von was out looking for ops along with fellow crew members J Money and T Rome, they happened to stumble across Modell. This is when Von seized the opportunity and hopped out the car that he was in and began to fire his handgun in Modell's direction, ultimately killing him. During a party that took place in the 5700 block of South LaSalle Street, partygoers were having a good time. The event was being attended by...
And also the annoying part, like, oh man, how many funerals you have to be going to? That's a lot for some of these guys, because they're losing the brothers as well in the gang. Like, there's just gonna be like, could be 20, 30, 10, 15, or something, like even 5, maybe each year or something like that. Man, that's gonna be draining to just see that all the time. Going to your brother's funerals, to me, just going in one funeral was devastating already itself. Like, it's just sad, because you expecting to, like, you want them to be living and all that stuff, and it's never ending, like, happy ending stories around here. There is some, but not too many, especially for these rappers. They never having... A lot of these don't have a really good happy endings, really, because they end up getting murdered, pretty much.
A ton of people, 2 of which happen to be King Von.
Not just murder, but also go into a prison cell for the rest of their life, too, as well. So, technically, they ruin their own career at the same time.
And Michael Wade. The 2 were seen having a good time. That is until Malcolm Stuckey, along with a few other rival gang members, showed up. It was at this point that Von and Wade left the party. However, they returned an hour later and began to open fire on the crowd. At that time, Malcolm and 2 of his crew were sitting on the porch. They panicked when they heard the shots. One man was clipped in the foot, but Stuckey was hit several times, one of which was right below his right ear. He was pronounced...
And also for me, I don't know if it's good or not, because I haven't heard some of these people at all, really. I don't know if I'm good or if that's good or not, because goddamn, it's technically saddening though, seeing how many of these guys are dead at this point. The only person I know is just about King Von, technically, but let's get back to the video.
It's dead at the scene. On July 24, 2014, police arrested King Von on multiple charges, one of which...
Oh, this guy, I've seen him before because he was on another video that we've probably end up watching, so he was in that, so he's the only one that I noticed, but technically everybody else, not really.
Which is the murder of Malcolm Stuckey, along with 2 counts of attempted murder. This is when King Von was forced to wait 3 years for his trial in jail.
Oh, however, yeah, this one, I think was in the Wu and the Cho one, or we're talking about that guy, because King Von actually ended up getting the murder charge or something like that dropped because of the witness decided not to testify or something like that.
A key witness to the investigation failed to testify, causing the state to drop all charges, and Von was released in 2017.
There you go. So he just ended up saying it. So yeah, his murder charge did end up getting dropped because the person didn't testify, or at this point he probably went missing, right? Or probably got murdered somewhere or another, because all these guys were probably going after him or scaring the hell out of that person who's testifying for sure.
17. If he was responsible for the shooting, the man literally got away with murder. P5 was a known gang affiliate from the Gyro City set in Chicago. He met his untimely demise on October 30th, 2012 after being spotted by several O Block members. While walking, he was seen by T Roy, J Money, and King Von, much like Richard Modell was. And much like the Modell situation, Von opened fire. only this time he was assisted by the other two shooters with him. P5 was struck by several bullets, which ultimately ended his life. Though O Block has since been dedicated to the murder of J Money, it is heavily talked about that all three men fired shots that killed P5. This occurred only 2 weeks after the death of Richard Medell, making this King Von's second alleged murder within 1 month. KI, also known as Gakira Barnes, was a
Alright, so we're back here. Yes, I remember hearing about her story, but yeah, she killed a lot of people. That's all I remember. Then she ended up getting murdered herself. Like she was walking to her friend's house, I believe, or something like that. So let's get back to the video.
was shot and killed. KI stepped into the life of violence herself. She is credited for the killing of Odie, the man that the infamous O Block was actually named after. After the murder of Odie, Barnes became a consistent problem for members of rival gangs. She has been attributed to over a dozen murders according to other members of the Gangster Disciples. She was even a—
Damn, over 17? Jesus. I thought it was a little bit less, but 17? Jesus Christ, she probably would have killed so much more if she was still alive, probably. She probably could have been way up there for sure, but could have been up to 30s. But goddamn.
involved in a situation where she found herself being jumped by members of a rival set, only to respond by shooting up their block the very next day. All of this activity surely—
Also, I remember, didn't King Von actually DM her too as well? That's why I kind of remember as well, watching a video. He did actually was in the DMs of this KI chick, which, even though they're rival gang members, but oh well. Let's get back to the video.
Made her a target. This is why in April of 2014, Barnes was walking along the 6400 block of South Ebert Avenue where she was shot 9 times. Reports say that she was hit in the chest, neck, and jaw. Though a witness tried to stop the bleeding long enough for first responders to arrive, Barnes was still declared dead at the scene. For a long time, many have speculated about King Von's involvement with the murder of Gakira Barnes, even though he appeared on an A&E documentary about where he stated that he wanted to get with her and that he thought she was a cool chick. Many believe he was just planning on setting her up. This would make sense, seeing how she was a member of the GD and supposedly responsible for the death of various Black Disciple members. Fast forward to July of this year, Chicago police have officially declared King Von the killer in the Gakira Barnes case.
Allegedly though, but you know, it could be more, who knows, because police are probably not going to be investigating it at this point anymore because he's technically not here anymore, so King Von is not alive anymore, and then pretty much the justice. What justice are you gonna get really from King Von technically? So you're gonna dig up his grave and arrest him because he's already dead. So at this point, who knows? It could be way more, it could be way less, and some of them are allegedly. So at this point, with no evidence, so
is quite a few. King Von was a known shooter in the streets of Chicago, and through his short career in the hip-hop industry, he amassed a ton of fans. It's always sad to see a young man lose his life to violence. That being said, I hope he rests in peace, and that's all for today's video. Be sure to let us know if you think King Von is responsible for any of these murders in the comments below. Hey you, yeah you liked the video? Great, we got another one for you.
So alright, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's reaction here. Yes, RIP to every single person here who has passed away. Not just them, but everybody else as well. I know there's probably way more. It's gonna be more. We're gonna be hearing on the news and more stuff about more rappers getting killed this year as well. So it's not over. It's never over. It's always gonna continue over and over again, which all these rappers are going to be all dead at one point, and then some of them are going to be going to a prison cell for murder charge or doing something with their gang members, and probably eventually the police are going to, or FBI, they're going to start using more RICO acts. So if one person does something, the rest of you are going to be in a prison cell. So man, it definitely, it's saddening at this point to just we keep hearing this over and over again. It doesn't seem like a never-ending story, but that's gonna be me. I'll see you guys next time.